What does your foot say?
Ooh-wee. That's my buddy who passed away.
Say that. So
That's
I just
cool.
got it done when I was in Chile because I was in Chile when he died.
Aww.
So yeah, it was sad. Okay, we can just keep going and then I'll just cut it.
And 3, 2, 1.
Fucking hell.
And we are here with Paige. How are you?
I'm good.
You're good?
I still don't know what to say.
Paige is a little nervous, and that's fine. We invited Paige because
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Yes, happy St. Patty's Day. Boom!
Woo.
Let's do it.
Woo.
Let's do it. This is how we get a conversation going.
I'm the
You get
only
a little,
one that's dressed up, I guess.
You get a little loose with the alcohol, and then
What does it
the
say?
conversation flows.
Yeah.
What does your hat say?
Yeah, what does it say?
We are killbagging.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I got it last St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
Bobby's place. Shout out Bobby's.
Shout out Bobby's. Right on. Bobby's Moose, Saskatchewan. So, yeah, we're here with Paige. Thank you so much for coming. We're super stoked to have you. I guess, it was really random. I was just scrolling Facebook one day and saw that someone had shared a video of you talking about suicide. And I know that that's not necessarily what you're like. Are you proud of that video?
Not necessarily. No. No.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm
wait,
not-
let's explain the video first.
Yeah, of course. I will.
I've actually never seen it.
You didn't do your research.
I honestly, that's the reason why this. Yeah, I never do my research. So he always does. I never do.
Frank's an off the cusp guy, but he
Yeah.
excels that way.
Actually, no. You know what? I actually think I did see it when we were first discussing getting you on the podcast, which was fucking in like September,
Yeah.
Yeah.
October. It was a
Yeah.
long time ago.
Yeah, it's
We
been
were
a
in
long
Moose
time.
Jaw though, and you couldn't do it.
No, I'm pretty sure I saw it now that I remember.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think you tried to be.
I released it a few years ago, so it's been a minute.
So can we
It has.
explain for the people who might
course.
have not seen it what the video was about, what it
So-
meant to you? If you want to explain,
Yeah,
you
I'm
can.
gonna let I'll let Paige explain it.
Okay. So I've always had my own struggles with mental illness and whatnot. I'm like, it's an ongoing process. I'm still trying to figure some stuff out. But the video, it was kind of like an ode to a girl that meant a lot to myself and my family, who passed away from suicide. And like about a month before she passed away, I was released from the psychiatric ward at the Moose Jaw Hospital for my attempted suicide. And when I was in there, I promised myself that I would kind of like share my experience, because for the first time in my life, like my family and friends knew like this is the extent of where my brain goes.
Yeah.
And I'd hidden it my entire life. And
For so long.
Yeah. And I remember when I was in emergency, like I remember very little, but one thing, my family was just like, I had no idea. I'm so sorry. And it's just like, no, you had no idea, because like I intentionally hid it, and I learned how to hide it well from a very young age. But anyways, when I was in the hospital, like I was required to participate in therapy, obviously. My meds were monitored and changed, and I finally like started talking to an actual like psychiatrist and getting a real diagnosis and everything like that. And then I eventually like started to feel better. And I think like the changing point for me was just like knowing that it's out there. It's just like, hey, this is me.
Yeah.
This has literally been, these are thoughts that have been in my head since I was a kid, since I can remember. And so like I just didn't really have to hide anymore. And so I was just like, damn, like this stigma is so strong, you
big
know?
time. Yeah.
And it's just like for my whole life, I was so scared of how like people would view me, how my family would view me.
Right.
So you like at a young age, how young were you when you knew like something's fucked up in the brain?
Oh, my mom said like ever since I was like really, really young. Like I saw my first counselor when I was 6.
Okay, so did she know before you?
Like
how do you even know when
you're
you're
a
6?
kid, probably.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
well,
Like, how do you even know when
I
you're
guess
6?
like it runs in my family.
Yeah.
Right? Like we,
as it usually does.
yeah, we
runs
have
in mine.
tons of mental illness in my
Yeah.
family. But I guess like I just had really messed up tendencies, and I was like a huge perfectionist. I needed control of everything. I need everything in order. And I would just like have like constant like panic attacks if like my schedule was like changed the slightest bit. Like I needed to have everything organized. And so, and then also like I was just so emotional, and like kids normally are, but not to that extent.
Yeah.
And my mom at the time, she was alone. And so she like,
single mom?
Yeah. Just for a minute.
A brief
And then you
moment.
got a stepdad?
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, she was like alone, didn't know what to do. And so she took me to a doctor, got referred to a psychiatrist when I was really young. And yeah, they diagnosed me with depression and anxiety at a young age. And then, yeah, it eventually formed into like.
Did they medicate you from that young age?
No.
Okay, so
no, my mom didn't want to medicate
that's
me.
probably a good thing. I think
It
like
is.
your brain needs to be a little bit developed,
Yes.
at least before you start taking that shit.
And I think like the first thing you should do is like obviously learn different coping mechanisms.
Try everything else before you
Yeah,
jump
because
right to
medication, like people don't understand how harmful psychoactive drugs are on a person's body. You know, it just messes with everything, and there's so much trial and error with psychoactive drugs. Like,
oh, for sure.
Like I've been on like, I can't even tell you how many different medications.
Yeah.
You know, and like some of them, like it takes like 6 weeks to see if it's gonna work, and then find out it's not working for you. You have to get weaned off for like 2 weeks, and then it's on there. Another one.
You know what? I find that it actually takes like months before you're like, okay, like maybe this is working.
Yeah.
You know, like people say 6 weeks. Cool, I get it. That's how long it takes like, for chemicals to figure it out.
Yeah.
But your body and like the way you are takes a couple months. And then one day you wake up and you're like, fuck yeah, this is great.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like with those, it takes 6 weeks to like get adjusted in your body, but then you have to see if it works with your daily life.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then you're just like, okay, if this is working with my daily life, if I'm not experiencing side effects, like all this, and you usually like wait another month to do that before you like realize like, okay, no, this isn't working for me, and then it's like on another system.
Oh, man. Not only is there a stigma for mental health or having depression, but there's a stigma for taking medication.
Yeah, for sure.
Totally.
So it's like you're battling two stigmas. Like, like I mean, the whole time when I was going through like really horrible issues with my mental health in my late 20s, it was like I had to battle being fucked up. and being like, holy shit, maybe I'm just whatever, my brain's a little fucked, and then battling like I'm taking medication, and that was hard on like my parents too to understand that I'm having to take meds. Like, although depression did run in the family and my dad was taking meds, at the time my mom is like kind of against it, not against it, but there's that stigma, right? She just she's more into like,
it's not that she's, I don't think it's that she's against it. I think that
there's just safer ways of doing it.
Well, she just comes from like the old school mentality of like, you know, try toughing it out first before just going to medication or whatever, like, you know?
Yeah, or figure it out. And that's not to say that my mom is naive to mental health. She is not. She's one of the smartest women in the world. But she does think that there are other ways. And now that I have been doing so well for the last 3 years, there's part of me that understands what she's saying. I feel like I now have the power to probably do without medication. And I mean, so it's good. Both sides are good, but there's that stigma with medication and all that shit. And it makes it very difficult when you're trying to figure out your life.
So just take us back then to the time when you made the video. What year was this?
Video.
Yeah, what is it? 50,000 views now, or?
Yeah, something like that.
Do you care?
No.
Because
I like when I look back at it, I'm like, this video sucks. Oh my god. Because it's just like I couldn't like I honestly don't even remember making it.
Yeah.
I watched it again one day and I was like, the whole time I was like, okay, like get it out, like today, Junior, you know, like just something. And it was just like it's awful. So I'm just like the least amount of people that see it. Great.
Like when did you make it? How?
Okay, so yeah, I made it. So I believe Tori passed away on May 15th, 2017.
Who's
so
Tori?
Tori is my little sister's best friend from kindergarten. They met in kindergarten. They like shared each other's like phone numbers and like became best friends. And so she became part of our family, you know,
of
like
course.
she was another little sister to me. And
Yep.
I woke up to a text on May 15th, like early in the morning. I had trouble sleeping the night before, and it just said Paige ... And I just like immediately just broke down bawling.
Oh, did you know?
I had no idea.
Holy
It just
shit.
like it was
You
just
just
so
had a
weird. It was just like
feeling.
it was
Were
just
there
like
no
a
signs?
feeling. No.
Wow, yeah. Usually.
And like I just like it was just a feeling. I just like knew something was wrong. And then Tessa was just like, Tori killed herself last night.
Jesus.
And I just like
Fuck.
I couldn't even speak. Like I just remember being frozen, and I was just like, I need to do something. Like this isn't okay. And like I think I was just I was in such shock, and I had this like initial initiative to like talk about my issues and like talk about like how like to not be deceived by this stigma that does exist, and how beneficial it is to be open about your issues and everything like that. Like I was just like, I just remember when that happened, I was like, fuck this. Like I need to just like tell people like my shit, because I remember like growing up, people were just like your life's so perfect, you know, like you're athletic, you're good at academics, like you have so many friends, like I lived a great life, I'm not going to lie.
No,
but
that's
there's always been this underlying thing. Like I have a history of like self-harm.
What type of self-harm?
Like
Cutting?
I started cutting myself when I was in my teen years, you know, and it was just like, it was such an emotional release for me, right? Like, because it's just like,
can you explain that for me? Because I've always been curious about self-harm and like why people do it.
Frank's the only one with a stable brain here.
That is so amazing.
I know. I envy him every day.
But I'm genuinely curious about this kind of stuff because.
Okay, so for me, so my, I just feel like I have had a lot of rough luck. So when I was either 15 or 16, I was at a grad party, and that night I got drugged and sexually assaulted.
Jesus.
Yeah. So that really fucks a person up. And I just remember like the next morning, like I just like I assume from like the date rape drug, I was just like puking, and I just like was like just all blood and bruised down there.
Oh my God.
It was just so awful. And I
That's
just
brutal.
like, I waited 3 days and like I didn't leave my room. I just sat there like just like in shock. And then finally, like I remember telling my mom, like, hey mom, like I'm pretty sure I got raped. Like, and then.
Do you know who did it?
No
Jesus.
clue. I waited too long, you know, and I went to the hospital, and they like the police were there. They wanted to do the rape kit and stuff, but I was just like, I need to forget. You know, like I'm what they call a runner. I don't deal with my issues. I run away from them. And so that's when that happened. That was the first time I cut. Right? Because like I couldn't express myself. I was just like an absolute wreck. And so I was just like, I don't know. I just remember one day I was just sitting in my room, and I just like punched my vanity as hard as I could, and it just shattered. And I just took the glass, and I just went like and started slitting my wrist, and it was just like amazing. Which is like, please, no one ever do that.
Yeah, of course,
I know, but this is what I'm so fucking curious about.
Okay,
so it takes
everyone who does it has said it like
the physical pain gives you that moment,
like a release.
It is.
It gives you that moment away from that emotional pain. So like I deal with it a lot at work, and like that the reason why people self-harm is because they can actually feel something different
other
than emotional pain, which is what they're experiencing in you, what you were experiencing all the fucking time. So people who cut, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to escape from that fucking their brain.
Yeah, so that's kind of just
it's intense.
That's how that happened.
So then going back to like, okay, so
first off,
Tori.
like did your parents know about this, like your rape? And like I know you said you told your mom, but like what happened? Something's gotta happen.
I just asked her to not.
I see. Yeah,
I was just like, please just let me forget.
Yeah,
you know, like I didn't want to go to court. I never wanted to see the person again. I was like, I just want to forget.
Yeah.
And so that year I actually moved to Saskatoon to live
Crazy.
with like my biological dad. And that was like in halfway through grade 11.
Yeah. You guys
And-
close, you and your dad? You can say no. It's fucking. This is
want him
this
to
is the
watch this.
truth. This is the truth podcast.
Not really, honestly.
Okay.
Like
No
I don't.
worries.
But like the thing is, I don't allow myself to get close to many people.
Okay.
Right. And like growing up, like he was in a different city, and I don't blame him for anything. It's just. I grew up in Moose Jaw, and he was
course.
in Saskatoon. He kind of had his own family in
Own life.
Saskatoon, who's like they're my family. Like I love them to death. It's just when you like grow up and you go to school in Moose Jaw, you're not going to be as close to your.
I think it's
other
just
family.
naturally. I think that would happen to anybody. If you
Yeah,
don't
exactly.
spend as much time as you spend with your family that you live with or whatever.
Yeah, so like I never actually dealt with it. You know, like I moved.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to just create like a timeline here, just to kind of
Okay.
like figure it out. Okay, so you're 16. That's when you were sexually assaulted.
Yeah.
And then from there, did you seek like, that's when the self-harm started
Yeah, I was seeing my school counselor at that time.
at that time.
Yeah, because I don't know.
Did the school counselor help?
Amazing. Like
Nice.
she
Yeah.
saved my life.
I honestly
love
think
it.
school counselors are like legit.
I have
Okay,
been
like,
applying for school counseling jobs since I graduated
I know.
because I really want to be
That's
one.
all
but
I wanna do,
yeah,
too.
But
Yeah.
But like I remember like
no luck.
I remember after my mom found out like I started like cutting, I was just sitting in class one day. It was a Thursday morning at 10 a.m. and it was just like, Paige, please report to the office.
Which
I was like,
class were you in?
I don't remember.
This was high school?
This was in high school, and I was just sitting there like, fuck it. And so I go, and they're just like, yeah, you have to go into that office. I was like, what is that? Like, what's happening? And it was the school counselor. And so I
Yeah.
like started like chatting with her, and like, I was like, so I feel like my mom definitely like contacted the school.
Yeah.
Sure.
But it's a good thing, I guess.
It was great. Yeah, no. And then I started talking to her, and then I remember her being like, I told her, I was like, yeah, like I cut. And then she's like, well, like, tell me like exactly what happened before that. I was like, I can't tell you. Like, I don't remember like what led up to that. I don't remember that day. And then she's just like, yeah, because it's such an emotional release through physical pain. And I just remember like just having like an aha moment. And I was like, holy fuck, this is someone that gets me.
Yeah.
And like it was just like at that point I was just like, okay, I can tell you everything.
Yeah, it was like the first time probably that you didn't feel so alone.
Man,
that
I
someone
feel
actually
like-
like
Yeah.
understood.
I was just
Intense.
like, holy
And
shit.
you're like, what? People can understand
Yeah.
this thing that I've been dealing with
yeah,
forever.
because like nobody really knew how fucked up my brain has like
Yeah.
always been, you know? Like
Yeah,
I've always
probably because you never like
That'd
were
be-
able to open up
Yeah.
initially.
Yeah.
That'd be the hardest thing to like stop doing too is physical harm because I can see the like immense benefit from.
I've actually only done it twice.
Oh, okay.
So
Self harm.
yeah.
Okay.
So it wasn't like
So it wasn't.
It wasn't like a
it wasn't
chronic
excessive.
thing.
okay, so this is the thing. A lot of my life
I'm not
No, I
downplaying
get it.
either. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah.
No, but like you probably understand this too. Is like when you have emotional issues, you kind of like just learn what's accepted and what's not accepted.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, you get conditioned on how you're supposed to act.
For sure.
And so I kind of just like after that whole situation, like everybody was like my family, like the people who knew were just like, oh my God, like they like treated me like I was a fucking leper.
Oh, of
Yeah.
course.
And so I was just like, okay, I can't do that again. That's not worth it. Plus I was playing volleyball at the time and I had to start taping my wrist without like,
Jesus.
you know, and then my coach, he was like taping it up for me and he saw, and I remember the
Yeah,
look
yeah.
he gave me, and he just looked absolutely broken. And I was just like, okay, like I can't do this. And so I veered away from that. And also the school counselor, we talked about like safe ways to harm myself kind of.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'd always have like an elastic around my
Oh,
wrist
yep,
instead.
yep.
Or like,
I've heard about that. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I actually didn't like harm myself again until like a few months before my suicide attempt.
Okay.
Because I was just like, it was during Christmas and I was just like, I need to like.
So tell us a little bit about that. I want to know about
Okay.
the suicide attempt. Feel free to be super detailed or not. You know what? We're in it.
Sweating.
We're in it.
I'm so sweaty.
You can take off your sweater. Like you don't.
That'd be super inappropriate.
Oh, there's nothing. Oh, yes. You said it.
Oh no, I see.
Maybe we'll have a naked podcast one day.
Here's
A nudist,
me,
yeah,
most
yeah.
vulnerable state.
Exactly. But yeah, tell us a little bit about that journey, because I mean that's how I saw the video.
Yeah.
I woke up one day, I'm scrolling Facebook, you know, I came across that video, and it was at a time in my life where I just got over some traumatic shit.
Mm-hmm.
And while I was in the traumatic stuff that I had went through, well, at least it was traumatic to me. While I was in it, I noticed that there was no one really talking about it a whole lot. So when I scrolled through that video after I was kind of out of it, I think I even messaged you right after.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, that's like, that shit needs to be like, people need to do that more, you know?
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about like your suicide attempt.
And what year? Let's create this timeline. Because
All right, timeline.
I'm getting a little
Okay,
jumbled.
so as a
Jumbled.
kid, really messed up, had a lot of like depressive spells, a lot of anxiety, obsessive compulsive tendencies, a lot of mood swings, and then 15, 16 hit, sexual assault,
Jesus.
self-harm.
Yeah. Now we're hitting.
Running away from all problems, starting a whole new life in Saskatoon. Still being really messed up. Like I had PTSD from it. I didn't even know that until like after my attempt actually, and I started going to counseling and doing exposure. Anyways, PTSD. I was just an absolute mess. Didn't know who I was. All over the place.
Yeah.
Started dating a guy. Dated him for like 4 or 5 years. Closer to 5, I think.
Wow.
And then we broke up.
Want to talk about it?
Went into like a super, super depressive spell.
Around like 22,
21.
21.
Wait, you dated someone for 5 years?
We
And
met when I was 16.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I was a baby.
Yes.
So I met him right after like the rape.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
like
okay,
so
yeah.
it was just
So
like
he
I was
went
in
through a lot.
I was
with
in
you
a
and-
super, super vulnerable
Yeah,
place.
for sure.
And I think I put a lot of my happiness in him.
Yeah.
Like I needed him to make me happy.
There's nothing wrong with
I couldn't
that.
find it within myself, except it became
was.
a problem over
Yeah,
time.
yeah, for sure.
We broke up, went into a super depressive spell when I was 21. Around Christmas time that year, I was like, fuck this. Like, I want to die. I was like planning my death. I was like, hey, this is how I'm going to do it. This is so like the least amount of people are like traumatized by like my dead body kind of thing. Like I had everything like planned.
What was the plan? Or is that too deep?
It's a little bit deep.
That's cool. We don't have to. No, we don't.
I don't think I've ever told anyone about my plan.
Yeah, no, that's fine. We don't have to. I'm just here to ask the tough questions.
What I was going to do.
You don't have to say it. Don't feel pressured at all.
Basically, what I was going to do, and I feel bad for like whoever had to be the first responder, but I was going to do something like I was going to hang myself in like a kind of like a hidden area. I was going to call the cops, like leave like a voice memo, like something like that. Take pills to to speed up the death.
Yeah.
Shit, I've never talked about this.
Hey, no worries,
then,
no judgment
and
here.
then he was gonna find me when it was too late, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And because I didn't want my family to see.
Right, of
Holy
course.
shit!
Of course.
I didn't think I was gonna get sad. I'm sad. I've never talked about this.
It's
Hey,
pretty,
it's seriously, it's seriously so amazing to talk about. I'm amazed that
I
you
have
can
chills.
talk about it. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, so I was in a really, really, really dark place.
Mm-hmm.
I've been crying in so long. What the fuck is happening?
So this you're
Feels good.
21.
Yeah. So this was in 2000. No, I would have been 22 at this point because it was in 2017. No, that was 2016. I don't know. I'm so like anxious right now. Anyways, okay. It was like.
You're doing amazing.
You're doing
by the
amazing.
way,
You're killing it.
It was
killing
December,
it.
and like I was just really sad. I was like planning everything. It was Christmas, and obviously like with depression, you feel like you're a burden. You feel like everybody would be
Yeah.
better off without you, right?
Yeah, you're not even thinking.
Yeah, and so like I was just like, hey, it's Christmas time, like you gotta hide this shit real hard. Because like I was just like, I couldn't, like every waking moment, like I woke up every single morning like crying because I didn't die.
That's probably a really tough time for people who struggle with like really
Honestly,
deep mental illness, because
Christmas.
it's like family, happiness,
Yeah, everyone's
all
happy,
of this
you don't feel as
amazing
happy.
shit is around you, yet you're feeling absolutely
That's
shitty.
the thing. Yeah. And so I was, I just remember that time, and I was just like, hey, you're not doing it yet. Like, you just need to get through this, and everybody needs to be as happy as can be.
Yeah.
So that was the second time I cut, right? Because like I was so far gone at that point that I just like needed to do something.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that was that. And then so that was December, and then finally, it's the next year. And then finally it was 2017.
Yeah.
And then it was April. It was the beginning of April, and I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I had like 5 consecutive finals for
Jesus.
April, and I was just like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
And I remember the one day I was at my grandparents' farm, and like that's my like happy zone.
Of course.
But then I found out that my ex, he was dating someone.
Yeah.
And like, I don't want to blame it on anything because I was already planning.
Yeah.
I just needed
it's a
like
feeling.
That
I
was
was
just
trying
like
to-
the push off
That's
the ledge.
all I needed.
Yeah.
I just like needed one tiny little thing. It could have been like a fight with a family member. It could have been anything.
Yeah, of course.
It just so happened that day
It
that
just-
happened,
the
and
timing.
I was like, I'm done.
Like, fuck it.
Yeah.
And I just like, I remember like I was just a mess, and like I called my best friend, and like I just like I don't even really remember it. I just remember like wanting to be dead so bad.
Wow.
And I remember her crying, and that was just,
So do you like
yeah. I remember telling her I wish I were dead, and she stayed with me
Jesus.
until like I said I promised that I wouldn't do anything. And then she left. And then I did it, and I will forever feel so guilty for doing that to her and my family. But I
think that that's where we all go wrong with suicide and with mental health, is that someone has to feel guilty about that, and I think that that's not right. And I think it's not right that you have to feel guilty that you were so in such a dark place in your life that you did that, and that you didn't, you couldn't find another way. I think that that's so ridiculous of human beings and society, where you have to feel guilty because you were in such that awful.
I think that's due to the
place.
stigma, you know, like
Of course.
I just like I don't blame anyone. I just like I think the stigma just it fucks a lot of people over. But yeah, like it's like I still deal with that guilt every day, you know, and it's just always something that's in the back of my mind.
Do you try and you in counseling for ways to get over that guilt, or is
It's like I said, it's an ongoing process.
yeah? So does that guilt?
How old are you?
I'm 24.
I'm 24. Wow.
So your friend leaves, and then
I told my mom I had a headache, and I just went to the pill thing, grabbed some stuff, and just.
What'd you take?
I honestly, like, I don't really know. I think it was like a bottle of Advil and Tylenol.
just everything
It
didn't
was
even
just,
matter.
Like,
At that
I was like,
point.
I don't care. I want to experience as much physical pain as I can. I
Yeah.
just want to like
Did
go
you
out.
down the whole thing?
Oh yeah,
Holy fuck!
like all of it. And then my mom. I was like, you need to get my ex to talk to me.
Oh man.
Like, I was such a mess, and like I told her I was gonna kill myself if he didn't talk to me, and that was after I took the pills. Like I was already dying.
Yeah.
And so like she like called him and like got him to call me, and we were just talking, and all I remember is like he's just a great dude, just a really good guy.
Yeah.
And all I really remember is just I said, please, like, go on a date with me. And he's like, I can't. Like, I'm with someone. And which is so respectable.
Yeah.
But I was like, that's okay. I'm going to die tonight anyways.
Oh, man.
And, like, that's all I remember. That's when I, like, passed out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And, yeah. And, like, next thing I know, I'm in the hospital. And, like, my whole family's around me.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
and I just
crazy.
remember being so angry. And I had a panic attack. And I was, like, throwing stuff. And
Oh,
I was,
like
angry
when you
at
woke
what?
up?
That
when I woke up.
That
'cause
you
I was
woke
like,
up?
I was like, fuck, I'm a
Yeah.
failure at death, too.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't even fucking kill myself.
Fuck.
Like, I was just like, what the fuck? Like, because you feel, like, so shitty. You're just like, I'm
So
such
you
a
mean you
failure.
were bummed that you woke up?
Yes.
Yeah, 'cause-
Wow.
I was like, finally, I'm
For
going to feel
sure.
peace. You know, like, when I did it, I felt good. And then I woke up and I just saw everybody crying. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah,
I just
for
remember
sure.
being so
Yeah.
angry. But I was also kind of loopy. And
Yeah, of course.
and then, like, I don't remember anything that night until, like, I was actually, like, in the psych ward. And I woke
Crazy.
up and I was like, fuck.
And
I'm
so-
trapped. And then I just remember.
So like, what ended up happening then? Did they like? Did your mom just take you to the hospital and they pumped your stomach or something?
No, they got the EMS guys came because, like, I was unconscious.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. So I don't really know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And like
You probably don't want to know either. It's probably just like.
and like I feel like I came out pretty, like, it was kind of a miracle that I came out as good as I did. Like, I only had like a few ulcers, you know, like
Yeah.
I think I was okay.
That's crazy.
And so it was just like, yeah, it was kind of a messed up situation, but it's kind of, I think it was the best thing that could have happened to me.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean,
long
it
run.
kind of led you to this point, if you think about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, like it was either like this and helping other people or be
Mhm.
dead.
Yeah,
So this is what keeps me going.
for sure.
Kind of thing.
Are you doing okay right now? Do you want to take a break?
Sure.
We can totally take a break.
I feel okay. I'm really, really anxious. I'm sweating so bad.
Yeah. Do you want me to open the window? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
No, it's
My
on.
back is soaked right now.
Why do you think you're feeling anxious?
I don't know. I guess, like, I've been, like, telling my story and everything, and I've been doing public speaking, like, the whole year after. It's kind of just, like, what I did, and
Mm-hmm.
it just became kind of second nature to tell my story, you know?
Yeah.
But I haven't, like, I've been struggling so much in the past couple of months, and I just haven't been, I haven't told anybody. You know, I haven't been talking about it, and so I just, like, I guess I'm kind of, like, anxious now because it's like, all right, it's resurfacing, guys, here we go.
Yeah.
You know, like.
But do you think that it's like is it a bad thing that
Oh,
you're
no.
sharing?
No, I think it's good.
It's just you're having to confront all these
Yeah.
difficult things.
So what's going on?
All these difficult feelings.
What's up now? So you.
Okay, so, like-
So was there a period that you felt okay?
So let's
Yeah.
say after you got out of the hospital, out of the psych ward,
It took, like, a solid year.
to kind of come back from
Yeah,
that.
to feel, like, decent.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I haven't felt good. Like, I haven't felt, like, really good,
Since.
like, ever, I don't think. But yeah, it's kind of just been like, all right, like, when's the next thing, you know? like,
Yeah.
with
When's it
mental-
coming?
Yeah, when's the next issue arising?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I always feel that when it's like when life's good too. I'm always like, all right, so.
Prepare
Like
yourself.
my
Yeah.
life is so good right now. Like I'm so
Yeah.
fucking happy, happier than I've ever been. And there are times where I like step away and I'm like, all right, when's the next fucking?
Yeah, but I think that's like
Bomb.
completely normal to think about. Like,
Totally.
Because like for me, for example, I don't necessarily have diagnosed mental health issues. I'm sure I have issues, but like still in my life, there's ebbs and flows throughout the course of
For
my
sure.
whole life. There's, I have really crazy good years and I
Yep.
have years that like literally just fucking all around suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's like,
And this last year too, right?
yeah,
It's been difficult.
the last year was by far like my worst year in
Yeah.
years, and I think that's just like, I don't know. I don't think I don't
Dude,
think it's weird to be expecting something bad to happen when everything feels okay.
Dude, I totally agree with that. That's a great way to put it, and I feel like a lot of people would probably benefit from that mentality. You know, to always be on, not just be on your guard. Of course, you want to live in the moment, but always know that life is hard, and some years are going to be more difficult than others. And some moments are going to be so shitty that you fucking wish you weren't a part of them.
And even when life is good, it's still hard. Like life is just hard, you know, like
especially in today's day.
Yeah.
So
everything
shitty.
about life is hard. Like my grandma, ever since she told me this, it's always stuck with me whenever like I have conversations that are similar to this. She just looked at me one day. I think we were in Arizona and we were just hanging out, like sun is shining.
Beauty.
And I can't remember what we were talking about, but she just looked at me and she just said, life is fucking hard. And once you like accept that life sucks, it's actually pretty enjoyable.
Dude, totally.
And like
so true.
Ever since she said that to me, whenever I'm like having a shitty day, I'm like, yeah, of course I'm having a shitty day. And like for some reason, thinking about her saying that makes it better. It's like, yeah, life is hard. It does suck a lot of the times. But like, if we just take that at face value, then it's pretty sweet. Like
exactly.
I think that also goes for like mental health and the stigma. You know, it's
that's
just,
what
like,
I'm thinking.
For so long, you like hide, and then like. The best thing, like, with my therapy was just being open.
Yeah,
you know?
being able to
like,
release it.
Yeah, I have fucking issues, but hey, like me, like voicing that and being able to talk about it means that I'm healing, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like you're able to like see things a lot differently.
Yeah, for sure. And do you think that through voicing your issues or like through kind of getting it out, have you met other people who are struggling with a similar
That's probably
thing?
a good thing.
So after the video, because there like overnight it was like at like 40,000 views, something like that. The next like 3 months, like I had probably like 20 to 50 messages per day from people who like I had no clue had issues. You know, like I grew up with them and I was always like I always like envied them, or like I just thought they were like the coolest, chillest person. Then it's like, hey, like I struggle with this. And I'm like I had like probably thousands of people come out to me, you know, like saying like, hey, like this is it. And I'm just like, holy shit, like why are all of
everyone's
us, like,
keeping it in? I know.
hiding, and we all have all these issues.
It's
like,
so, and like
how it
is.
Man, all these people, like even celebrities that are dealing with that are committing suicide recently this past year. Everyone around them is saying the exact same thing. You would have never thought, like a happy dad of 4, like, but and I think it's like a testament that like you're not weird if you're experiencing these types of thoughts or feelings or emotions. Like, you know, everyone to some extent kind of does.
Of course. Totally. And you know what, I can tell you why, or at least one reason that this happens is because there are people like Grandma who's open, who can say, yeah, life fucking sucks, but if you accept it, right on. But people don't say that enough.
Yeah. And
you have Graham who can come out and be like, hey, listen, life ain't easy. Just grab it by the fucking horns and give her. Cool. Not a lot of people say that. There's a stigma behind being the bull. Or being like the fucking guy.
Do you think that stigma?
People are always like, oh, you're sad. Oh, well, just get over it. Like, life's beautiful. Look outside.
Yeah,
like,
you
that's
have
fucking
going
bullshit.
For you. Yeah.
That's fucking bullshit. Like, life ain't like that. Life is fucking hard. And Grandma has the balls to sit there and be like, Dank, life is fucking hard. So grab it and just accept it and fucking go with it. And then you can be happy.
Yeah,
so
I think like a lot of that is kind of rooted in like our, like, it seems like North American people have this like pride thing that they like,
it's hugely pride.
Yeah, that they're just like too proud to have problems.
Of course.
Well, and I think too, like a lot of it comes down to what society views as successful too,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
Our day and age, like they view money and power as success, right?
Exactly.
And people with mental illness have a harder time getting jobs, being successful in their jobs, because it is so unpredictable. But what doesn't make sense to me is that people with cancer who like have to go to their like weekly chemo appointments, they don't even question it.
Right.
But like people who have like major depressive disorder who
Yeah.
just like need to take like their odd like mental health day, they like it's frowned upon, right? Or they're seen as like unpredictable or unresponsible
Do you think that that's
or
changing,
irresponsible.
like within the past few years?
You know what
It is, but okay, like the one.
No, you
I
go
just
for
need
it.
to
Go for
interrupt
it.
you for a second.
No, do it.
I asked you.
Like 2 years ago. So after I got out of the hospital, I released that video and everything.
Yep.
I applied for a summer job, like a summer student job. And that year, like I rode in Canadian Mental Health Association, Ride Don't Hide. It's like a bicycle to raise awareness kind of thing. I rode in that, and I was so proud of it, and I was just like, I'm doing good things.
Yeah.
And I like told them like, yeah, I'm working for this like senior home. Like I said it on the news, right? And I was just like, yeah, I'm doing this right now. Like I'm so happy with my life, blah blah blah. And then when I went to work on Monday, they're just like, you can't tell people you work here.
That's so
Like
fucking
like the
stupid.
families
That's
aren't going to be
fucking
okay with
awful.
like a mentally ill person working with their
Oh my
their family
God.
members. And I was like, are you fucking kidding
That's
me?
like recent too. Like, when did you post the video?
That was in 2017.
Man, that's called
And I started-
fucking... That is the
That is
definition of fucking
mind-blowing.
stigma right there.
Exactly. Like I had a talk. They're just like, yeah, please don't mention that you work here in any of your stuff.
Oh my
Do you
God.
think
Well,
in
I
this
get-
particular instance, do you think that was a particular individual making that call, or do you think it was like a collective of the whole place
Were you with
that
the
were working
government?
at?
No.
Okay.
It was just like a private seniors home. I love seniors.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
I like-
Oh, me too.
Well, people are
for
awesome.
sure.
So honest.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
you show up and you're like, you look like shit today. And you're
Yeah.
just like,
It's like
Oh my
kids.
goodness.
thanks.
They literally are like
yeah,
kids.
they are
they're
like
the
kids.
they're the best.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and so like I was so excited to be working there that summer, and I'm so
That
good
is
with
so
them.
fucked
That's
up.
awesome.
Yeah, but then they're just
The
like, yeah,
fuck?
please don't tell the media that you work for us because the families won't be okay with you working like a mentally ill person
Yeah,
working
see,
with their
like,
family members. And I was like,
I think we
Really?
have we have such an uphill.
Like how
road
does
to
someone
climb.
even
And-
respond to that? It's like, are you
Yeah.
going to tell someone who's addicted to drugs that they can't come to work and be a good human being?
yes,
Because
Yeah.
they're fucking addicted to drugs?
Honestly,
like it's so fucked up.
yeah.
So people can't recover from this awful...
see that's
Thing.
the
not
thing.
even
Like,
not even
people-
just recover. It's
But like,
like
people are just like, oh, there's so much awareness, like things are getting so much better. It's just like, are
Yeah.
they?
yeah, no,
Are
but I
they?
think it's
Yeah.
important to
You
tell
know?
your story because
Yeah.
we have talked on this podcast with other mental health advocates, and we are making steps towards being a more
Yeah.
inclusive and understanding
Definitely.
society. But it is
2019.
important to hear stories like that where you're like, holy fuck, we have a long way to go. Like,
Exactly. And there are tons of companies. I've done a lot of like corporate public speaking.
Of course.
And like there was this one with I forget what corporation it was, but it was huge. It was all like older males that like worked there. Like I think there was like maybe one or two females in the entire room.
Jesus.
And I had a lineup of these males come to like talk to me after, and they're like, "Thank you so much." And like two of the men were talking about they both had sons that were like, one was schizophrenic, one was bipolar.
Wow.
They were telling me of their struggles and stuff like
Amazing.
that. And it's just like, see, like the more open we are, the more accepting and inclusive we are as a
Exactly.
society.
And-
And the better off people are going to be, the
course.
more successful we are going to be as a
100%.
society.
And it's
And so like things like places like
Yeah.
that, fantastic. Like it's getting better.
yeah.
But,
But
there's
there's
still,
still, yeah.
so many
course.
people that are closed-minded.
it's also important to acknowledge caregivers of people who have mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
It's like, okay.
like they have to deal with some shit, and it's like it's super important to acknowledge that the family members who take care of someone with mental health and accept it and roll with it and take care of them and help them, they're doing an amazing service to humanity. Whereas there are some people And I mean, in different generations where mental health might not be accepted, right? Where you would come home and be like, I feel like I want to kill myself. And then someone would be like, fucking figure it out. You know, like there's that mentality. And
For sure.
And that's why it's important that that we give caregivers who actually care when their son, daughter, cousin, whatever has a mental health issue, that we totally give them credit.
And I think too, like when it comes to the workplace and like even in caregiving situations, people need to understand that people with mental illness often like think about like their own misery, and they never ever want anyone else to feel that, so they do their absolute
they're better.
Yes,
at it.
I feel
they're
like
more empathetic.
I like people who are mentally ill, because then it's just like you get it, you know. And
Yeah,
it's just
no,
like
for
those
sure.
are some of the best people you'll ever meet, because they never want you to be as low as they've been.
Yeah, of course.
And I think those make some of the best employees, some of the best caregivers,
Big time.
because they're gonna try that much harder for you, because they don't ever like want you to experience
Of course.
anything close to what they have.
I think
So,
in most professions, the most real person, the most genuinely real person makes waves in that company, because they have that ability to be real.
Yeah.
Now, I think that, of course, that is sometimes stifled, but lately, and in 2019 now, I feel like those people are starting to make waves, you know?
For
the
sure.
people that are real and not willing to be bullshit, and not willing to be in a suit and a tie and, you know,
yeah.
fuck those people. That is a dying generation. Now
Yeah.
it's time to be fucking real. And companies and the government and everyone is seeing that. And then they're hiring people like that. I mean, it's being embraced. People need to be fucking real. We don't need to hear this bullshit.
I think ever since like the Industrial Revolution, we've just been robots to our labor.
Literally
You
have been
know?
robots. 100%.
And so it's just like, finally, like humanity, let's step out of that a little bit. Let's find our passions.
be a
Let's
little
come
loose.
together. Like,
let's be a little
let's-
loose.
yeah,
let's try
let's-
some different shit.
let's do what we're good at, and like
Yeah.
collectively, it'll all work out in the end.
I know that
Instead of making the big man all the money, you know, like let's just do our thing. Let's just focus on being happy. Let's put
100%.
that as our definition of success.
You know, if I was
know?
ever a boss one day and my employee called and he's like, you know what, I just can't do it today, I'd be like,
Okay.
take tomorrow off too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd be
like
fuck.
I don't have quote unquote mental health issues,
Yeah.
but I need mental health days.
Of
Like
course.
I wake
Everyone
up sometimes
does,
and I'm just like,
yeah.
dude, I can't go to work today.
Dude.
So instead of just being able to be real with my boss and say, you know what, like I've been working a lot. I just need a day to myself. Instead of being able to say that, I got to be like, oh, you know what, my fucking toe hurts today, and my car won't start, and I got to
Sorry,
drive my
food
grandma to
poisoning again.
like
Ate Asian
like
the other night.
I really fucking think that like
I know it should be totally
it should just be, you should be able to be transparent with your employers, and like if you're struggling, whether you have mental health issues or whether you're just struggling, whether
It's a
some
shitty fucking day.
yeah, or like you're or like it could be anything. Maybe there's a problem in the family. Your brother's fucking addicted to something, or like something that isn't quote unquote mental health problem. I think that we should just be able to be open and honest with our employers and just say, you know what, I can't make it to work today.
Well,
Man,
like-
do you
Like-
know how amazing the workforce would be and how productive
Way
it
more
would
productive.
be
So productive.
Way
if
more
people
productive.
could be honest
If people
to their
had
superiors.
freedom.
Yeah.
If people
so
could
freaking
if
freedom.
people could call in and be like, listen, I fucking love my job, but sorry, I'm not coming in today. I am
Yeah.
fucked in the head. I need to figure shit out. Let's get going.
Yeah.
Like if
For
people
sure.
could be honest like that, where the boss is like, yeah, no worries, come in tomorrow. Yeah, chill, take it easy.
But on the other hand, too, there's a lot of lazy fucking people in the world that would take advantage of that. So it's like, what's the line? Like,
yes,
that's the biggest challenge, I think. Like we should,
but you can get the line.
No, I know, for sure.
Too much, then you're like,
yeah, for sure.
I think people need to realize too. It's just like we wouldn't be alive if we didn't have our brains. And it's just like
science,
the most important.
Like literally, like our brains, our cerebellum is what runs our heart, what runs our breathing,
everything,
literally everything.
Any type of labor I want to do, my brain tells me to do it.
Brain. So if you need a day to take care of that, just like if you like you're having like kidney issues or something,
exactly.
like anything, and you just need to take a day to like rest and recuperate.
Isn't it so?
I don't get why
I know. Isn't it so fucking weird that like we can't wrap our minds around the fact that we need to take care of our brain?
Okay.
Like
so
brain,
fucked up, man.
I heard this in a documentary. The brain is the only organ that had the ability to name itself.
Can it?
Wow, that's what an idiot.
Can it, bro?
Dude,
but
like how incredible is that?
But
yet we're so we just like
we don't give it the proper respect and credit that it needs. Like, why wouldn't that be top of the priority for everybody? You know? Like,
it's just like, okay, like if our brain isn't functioning properly, like maybe we need to like take a day, just like figure out our thought processes.
I'm still trying to figure out the name itself.
Because
your brain,
fucking your penis doesn't name your penis a penis because your brain names it a penis.
Your brain named its.
Your brain's the thing that makes thought.
So your brain is the thing.
I'm sure there's like one or two other listeners that didn't get that, but I'm sure everyone else got it.
I really, really hope everyone got that.
But you know what? I really think that it takes people like you, and it takes people who have been down in the trenches to sort of come forth, explain their own personal experiences, and not make it general, and not try and be an objective voice for everyone, but just share their stories for people to really sort of begin to understand that that this kind of dialogue and this kind of change is important and almost inevitable, and change is so gradual. And we were saying that, like, we haven't made as much waves as like someone like you or I would want.
We'd hope.
We'd hope. But
if you can
change is so gradual that I think that it starts with people like you. And
of course.
Like,
and
100%.
if you consider like our history of like insane asylums, or like the diagnostical and statistical manual for mental illnesses, like homosexuality used to be listed as a mental
health.
As a mental illness, right?
Sometimes
like we have
like
made huge strides. Right?
Oh, I think it still should be listed as a mental health disorder, but I mean that's just me. But
is that a joke?
It's a joke.
Okay.
It's
like
he's somewhat.
I'm loose. I'm feeling myself.
Somewhat joking. But no,
I'm definitely joking.
But of course, like, I mean, all of this crazy shit, I mean, that was diagnosed as mental illness is it's bound to evolve over the years, right?
Yeah.
Thing is like change, big change, like major change is such a gradual thing, and sometimes we just want to wake up tomorrow and have it all laid out the way we would hope. But it really does start with like people at the front line like you who share their real life experiences. No bullshit. Fucking get vulnerable. Who cares? There's thousands, millions of people in the world that have a similar, at least have felt similar to you. Even myself, I find myself relating to you in so many ways, and I don't have quote unquote mental health issues. So
I like, that's so true though. Why people can't just be completely,
but like
fuck it. Like, this is how I feel.
Though,
fuck it.
Like I've been doing public speaking for 2 years
now.
you have. And I still like the past 4 months, I have completely isolated myself.
I think that's fine though. You're doing you.
But
but you know what?
It's not healthy though. Like,
why isn't that healthy?
But at least you know. At least
why
you're
isn't
aware.
that healthy? What makes you feel like that's not healthy?
You probably feel better when you do talk about it.
You do. And like for me, like the past like 4 months, like I've been. Like I have a 1-bedroom apartment with just like my dog and I, right? And like I haven't been writing like publicly or like talking to anybody, I've just been like posting things and people are like, you're doing so well. And I'm like, am
I'm not.
Am I? You know, and
So
it's just like,
there are masks.
they're like, I still wear them. I still catch myself. And like,
Well,
when you guys asked me to like come here, I was just like, shit, like I haven't talked about anything to anybody for so long, you know, like none of my friends know what's going on.
Like, do you think that social media,
it's
like,
so deceiving?
well, it's weird because like on one hand, it allowed you to share your story and kind of create the beginning of starting to feel vulnerable and being able to get it out.
Right? I wouldn't have known you without
But
that.
on the other hand, social media can be very like alienating in a way, and it can sometimes feel like you have to be someone that you're not.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No, exactly. Like people aren't going to respond.
You're the mental health advocate on social media, which means you're not allowed to have a bad day because you're my mental health advocate. Like you're who brings me up when I'm down.
Yeah, like I bought a bracelet. Miserably happy. I bought a bracelet. Like
I honestly like I don't remember the last time I posted to that because like I've just been like I actually locked my site a month ago because I was just like
too much.
I can't do this. Like I can't have people like rely on me.
Right.
You know,
it's a lot of pressure.
Like, I had a lady email me like a month and a half ago and she's just like, I just love your stuff, like, but I'm having trouble seeing. Like, do you think you could like put like make like a voice thing on it? And I just like I responded back and I was like, yeah, for sure. Like I'm right on it. But like realistically, I was thinking like I can't. Like I can barely like it takes me so much to like get out of bed in the morning. Like no, I'm sorry. And then that day I locked it. I was like,
crazy.
Can't do it. I seriously can't.
So yeah, that's why I asked you the social media question because I genuinely want to know if you feel like at first maybe it helped you, but now it's kind of become like this thing that you feel pressure.
Yeah, every time I post to it, I feel guilty.
Yeah,
because I'm just like,
because maybe you're struggling. Like, is this me being authentic?
Yeah, that's it. I feel.
Am I being authentic?
Like I'm not being real because it's just like, everyone's like, like you're the voice of hope.
But you know what?
No, like I'm in the process.
You know
of,
what
like,
though?
Why?
You know what? I think the fact that you recognize that it might not be real makes it real.
But
because you are really working at doing it.
Yeah.
I'm genuinely like curious if you've considered this. Kind of sucks that you're like you have a popular social media account, so now you have to share things. I was just gonna say that, have you considered like sharing the moments when you're struggling? But then it's like maybe you fucking don't need to share those moments.
But then it's
like,
just like, okay, this is my issue. There's part of me that's just like, by all means, you have to do that because there's other people that are going through it, and you could like after I released the video, so many like, it's terrible how many teenage girls that I knew, like my little sister's friends, that messaged me saying like, I was planning on killing myself until I saw this.
Jesus.
Right? So
the weight of that?
Yes, like I know it helps people, but there's also this part of me that's just like, is this gonna look like I'm trying to get attention? Is that like, you know, like, is this like, do people think that I'm doing this for the wrong reasons? Like, I've been accused of that. You know?
Of course, and you always will.
So it's the fucking internet. Like, first of all, don't even.
But I think about that, right?
For
and
sure.
Like, with having like depression and stuff like that, like you consider everything
so
heavily, and I'm just like, it just becomes so overwhelming that you're just like, I'm done. I can't do it. And like I said, like I was telling you guys earlier, like I'm in the process of like looking at like potential bipolar disorder for myself. You know, like it runs in the family. I've had a pattern every single year where it's just like around every time I'm just like, like I'm gonna do this, I'm unstoppable, and then all of a sudden I like crash. And I can't do anything. And so I'm just like
super bipolar.
Like I'm wondering like is this just like is it gonna pick up again when I'm going into like my quote unquote manic state, or like I just like I don't know, and I just like, for me, part of me just like needs to like figure this shit out before I share stuff, because it's like
it's almost like you're caught in this fucking double-edged sword, this conundrum where it's like, do I help all these people? I have this new platform where I can help all these people, or do I help myself?
Yeah, and it's just like people see me as this like voice of hope now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
I'm hopeless.
No, but you know what?
So much of the
You know
time,
what,
right?
Paige?
Like
I
I
think-
people also need to know that though.
I think
you,
that-
like have that.
I guess I'm just like with
dilemma.
social media, and I think a lot of people experience this. They're so scared to share, like to be super, super vulnerable, because it's just like people, you want people to think you're doing well, you know, like you want to be this definition of success.
Right. Nobody posts pictures of like fucking
Like,
all their failures.
No
like
one
it
posts
just doesn't
pictures
happen.
Of them in bed being like, I fucking hate my life.
Yeah.
Like I post enough shit of like me and my dog sitting on the couch, like doing
Yeah,
nothing because
yeah.
we're so sad. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just,
It makes me
it's a
feel
hard
for you
thing.
though. Like I couldn't imagine the weight of something like that, because it is like you do have this platform, and I'm sure you're super grateful that you have it, because it must feel good to help so many
Mm-hmm.
people. And then on the other hand, it's like sometimes you might just want to turn it off and like be a human.
Do you wish you didn't post that video?
no.
Is there?
No, because I mean the amount of like kids, like teenagers that are like 13 to like 18 that message me, and they're just like, I've like done this to myself. I've been thinking about this.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just like, okay, yeah, like I will share everything if you're gonna, like, if this helps you in any way, of course. And I think like that for me was so rewarding. But
How's your relationship with your fam?
it's gotten better in a lot of ways since I became so open. I think like they're just like way more understanding of what actually happens in my head, and like when I'm being like flaky or
they'll ask you.
yeah, it's just like,
They'll
okay,
reach
like,
out.
okay, what's up? You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not just like, oh, okay, like
Yeah.
she's being that again. You know, it's just
No,
like,
they'll reach out.
no, it's
and
like
they'll-
seriously, like I can't. Like I'm a full blown like panic attack.
But does that ever bother you though, when you just want to have a moment in your room by yourself? Like, and your family's texting you, where are you? Oh my
no.
God, what's going on?
No,
When
my
you're just like,
family's-
Jesus, chill out.
No, I told like, so after I got out of the hospital, like I established some ground with them.
Nice.
Because I mean, like obviously
Important.
after a suicide attempt, like everybody's on edge. They're just
Yeah,
like, what the
every-
fuck is she gonna
course,
do
of
next?
course, yeah.
Of course.
You know, it's just like my hospital room. There was literally like, I wasn't planning on hurting myself again, but I was like looking for like things that like, okay, like they literally like got everything
They
covered.
suicide proofed
Like,
it.
yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Jokes on them. I used my pajama pants the one night, but that was like, but I like, there's so many nurses around, like you can't get away with anything.
Yeah, of course.
Um,
Good old nurses. Eh?
yeah, but
My dad's a nurse.
okay,
Yeah, he kills it.
So
it's good.
So how?
I forget where I was going with whatever I was saying.
I'm just curious, like how you're doing now. like really, in comparison to before, maybe.
Oh,
or-
in comparison to before, I'm not.
Yeah, don't fuck around too. Tell us the real shit. How you doing now?
Okay, I haven't wanted to kill myself.
That's good.
So that's a
It's
bonus.
progress.
It really is. Like
Yeah,
people don't
of course.
understand like how like my whole life I was kind of just like obsessed with death. Like
Mm-hmm.
always, I was just like, I just remember like thinking like as a kid, like I wonder what my mom would do if I just disappeared. You know,
Yeah.
like, or if like I remember like one time or maybe a few times I was just like, I wonder what my family would do if I like took ketchup and then just like splattered it all over me and like took a knife, you know, like, and like just like made it look like I got stabbed or something. Like I was just always like obsessing over shit like that.
Yeah.
So I'm not doing that anymore.
Nice.
That's super,
Well, that's good.
super great.
It's awesome.
Like I said, I'm kind of going through some like a transition. I've been on the same medication since I got out of the hospital.
How is the medication right now?
It's bad. It's
bad. It's not working.
It's not working.
They got you on like a cocktail, and that's
kind of,
that's how
yeah.
it is?
I haven't been sleeping.
yeah.
I've
That's the worst part about like new medication is the sleeping patterns.
no, but this is like I've been on the same one for so
Oh,
long.
shit.
It's just like this was such a strong medication, and like I've just been waiting
Yeah,
for
yeah.
this. It was like such a strong medication that it's just like, what's my next step?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
now I'm just sitting here
Totally.
like, what the fuck is coming
Yeah,
next? Like I don't know what's gonna happen. Like took me so long to get regulated on this medication, and now, now what? You know, like I went to the doctor 2 days ago, and I was telling him about like the things that have been going on at night, and just like with my life and my obsessive compulsiveness and my depression, and especially my anxiety. Like, it's been constant. And so like he wrote me a prescription for like a psychotic medication, you know, like for psychotic symptoms and stuff. And there's a bad connotation with that.
Yeah,
it's just like a lot of like progressed like patients who have like depression, anxiety, they supplement with psychotic medication because it helps with some of like the more rare symptoms. What is that?
It's like tobacco. You want any?
No,
it's not even tobacco.
Oh,
it's
That's
0
bad for you.
It's 0 milligram
okay,
nicotine
I see.
vape pen. It's not.
It smells good.
It helps.
Yeah, it's literally
It
just
helps
like
depression.
taste. It's
No,
just
that's bad.
taste.
It helps depression.
Okay. No, I'm good. Yeah, so like I got prescribed that. I'm in the process of getting an EEG to confirm that there's nothing going on in my temporal lobes, like there's no like tumor or like epilepsy that's underlying these symptoms.
At least you're being like proactive though.
I wasn't for a super long time.
Really?
Like it's
Do you feel like
it's
you
been
need
like
a push?
4 months of this.
Do you feel like you need like a push to
My mom.
I always need a push too.
My mom was just like, Paige, like for the past like year, she's been like, let's go to the psychiatrist. Like you need someone new. You need a second opinion.
Yeah.
And I've been like, yeah. And then finally, like after like the like probably 6th time she's given me like the information of this new psychiatrist, I was finally like, okay, fuck it, I'll book an appointment. And so
Is he or she pretty good or no?
So this was actually like I didn't do this until literally this week.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
I just went to
just in
the
the
doctor
process.
2 days ago. Finally, like I've been
figuring it out.
okay. This is kind of like fucked up, and like people are gonna take this wrong, but like at night
people.
I've been having like auditory hallucinations at night.
Like voices?
Music.
Music.
Like I wake up thinking my phone's playing music, and there's
Is it a good
there's nothing.
song at
But
least?
are you
It's
like
always like a song, like a stupid song I listen to during the day, and it's so loud, and I'm just like, oh, my phone, like what the hell's happening?
Yeah.
And nothing's playing.
well,
And so that's why like they're thinking like the psychotic symptoms, right?
Yeah.
Like that's one.
could also be just you're in like a dreamlike DMT state.
I don't know. It's been
Because you wake up,
odd.
right?
Is Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
Is Joe Rogan here? DMT?
Yeah.
I've done so much research on that. That's so cool.
DMT,
I want to do like
yeah,
I want to
yeah.
do like a DMT.
I actually
because
went
honestly,
on a
like,
last weekend or a couple of weekends
Mm-hmm.
ago. I went on a psilocybin trip.
Cool.
So I ordered, or my roommate and I had ordered shrooms in pill forms.
Oh, that'd be so much nicer.
It was
than,
awesome. So we
They're
ordered
gross.
them.
Yeah, shrooms are fucking.
Yeah, man.
they're like mix it with orange juice.
Yeah.
It's like this is terrible.
No, it was awesome. So we took them in pill form all weekend long. Like I did them from kind of the moment I got up to
Like microdosing.
we totally microdosed, but I mean,
No, they didn't microdose.
Yeah.
That's fucking such a lie.
They
They
were
were
hard.
zooming hard.
No,
and
no.
I'm just sitting there watching them fucking zoom.
There's no lie.
There
We
was
didn't
no microdosing.
We didn't microdose at night, but during the day we did. So I
Okay.
would do like 1 or 2 during the day, and it was amazing. Like ever
it's a cool
since
thing.
that weekend, I feel incredible. So there's something to be said about psychedelics.
There's been a ton of research on
for sure.
microdosing
It's a
with
huge
psilocybin.
thing right now.
Yep.
Huge.
I'm curious for you, like, do you have coping mechanisms that have worked, and have you experimented with recreational drugs that might help?
Wine.
Love wine.
But alcohol's a depressant.
It's a depressant.
I don't know
so you
that
have to
it
be,
works.
It is,
You have to be
yeah.
super careful.
Yeah,
I
sure.
use it mostly like if I'm just like at home, I'm just revved up from like anxiety.
Of course,
It's
yeah.
just like to kind of like chill
calming,
out.
yeah.
You
There
know?
ain't nothing with a glass. There ain't nothing wrong with a glass of
No,
wine.
it's just like
You
if
gotta
you're
chill.
binging,
Yeah, if you're getting fucked
then
every
that's
night,
bad.
Yeah. of
But
course.
yeah, like I'll just like I genuinely love wine.
Yeah,
you know?
me
like,
too.
I love the taste, everything like that. So
I
it's
love
just like
how it just makes my body feel happy.
yeah,
It's
it's wine for me is more so like a gourmet meal.
Yeah,
you know, it's
for
just
sure.
like let's
It's
like
like- it's
taste
like
all the
Guinness.
different kinds. Yeah.
And I love
And
like
so-
the stigma to drinking when you have mental health
I
issues.
know.
Like people
Huge.
are always like, should you be like drinking right
Like I
now?
have one or two glasses of wine. I'm fine.
Yeah, it's like chill out, take it
as-
easy.
But for your coping mechanisms,
Coping, I
like what works?
so I've like kind of created a little like art studio in my
Nice.
apartment.
Like painting and
Yeah,
Cool.
art is like
Love
a
it.
huge release for me. It's something I've kind of always turned to.
Yeah, because you were telling me that you're going to do your master's next year,
Yeah.
and your goal.
My goal with that is like I obviously want to do psychotherapy, like just so I
Nice.
can kind of give back.
dig it.
But I really want to like focus on art as like the creation process as therapy to help
Yeah.
individuals use it as a means of expression, because a lot of people, especially growing up in this day and age when like you need to be successful in your careers and stuff like that, I want to use it as a way for like people to actually like to come out and yeah, like I said, express, because a lot of people don't know how to do that anymore.
Yeah, they don't have an
And
outlet.
Yeah, exactly. And I think like everybody can be an artist in some way or another.
Of course,
right?
yeah. Everyone has some
And-
sort of talent.
Yes.
For me,
That
it's
they
like
can figure it
writing.
out.
Like
Yeah, like
when
even writing as an art form. Like I just want, I really want to excel in my master's of arts in like counseling psychology. You know, like
that would be awesome.
yeah, I really want to use that because it's something that has helped me through so much. I'm working on a new portfolio right now. That's basically like turning past traumas into something beautiful that you can like acknowledge and recognize, but leave it on the canvas kind of thing. And so
That's cool.
It's a new thing I'm working on with regards to art and mental health, and
It's great.
it's kind of like my own journey
Yeah.
in order to like one day benefit other people and teach them how to kind of do
Cool.
what I'm doing right now.
And what about like more immediate coping mechanisms, like when you're feeling anxious, like you were today earlier on the pod?
My favorite thing, like if it's really bad, I literally like lay down on the floor with like just sprawled out like this,
And just breathe.
and I just breathe and listen to classical music.
Nice. Music helps.
Yeah, music, any sort of
Arts
art form.
therapy is
Art therapy is my
It's
favorite.
your thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes I'll just sleep.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Hey. Napping is a great coping mechanism.
Tony literally sleeps more than any human that I know.
Hey.
It's-
If I have a day off, I'm napping
Yeah.
at least 3 hours of that day.
Yeah, no,
I
I
don't
just
get
like
that.
I love to be on my couch and just like snuggle. Like I have a wiener dog and she loves to like
Oh,
burrow
yeah, dinky.
in, and so like when
Yeah,
she
you
gets
just
all
cuddle.
snuggly, I'm just like I can't move.
Yeah.
I was watching this, or I was listening
That's
to
great.
this sleep doctor. Actually, I was listening to a podcast with him, and he talks about the importance of sleeping and how, like, we as a society, we don't think about it, but it actually is the biggest contributor to, like, your
Everything.
life and the way that you will age and everything. And he was saying that, like, whenever you feel tired, you should go sleep. Like that is like you must go sleep. Like,
But like, what about with depression?
well, I mean,
Because
I'll still sleep.
you tend to oversleep with depression, and
Yeah.
it turns into a downward
like a
downward
chronic
spiral.
thing.
Yeah. So of course,
So
that's a
in that
different story.
regard, it's a little bit different. Even though you do feel extra fatigued when you're in like a major
Depressive
depressive
state.
state,
Yeah.
it's not necessarily the best thing for
So
you.
like here's the thing, like so my last year, it was a challenging year. Like I worked a lot, 80 hours a week every week.
Tuma.
And you know, like personal struggles, whatever. It was a hard year, and I felt, and maybe to a certain degree even currently, still have like depressive moods. Depressive, like just those days where you just
Yeah.
want to sleep, or
Yeah.
you wake up and you're just like, fuck, do I
You've been
even
talking
want
to
to
me
get out
lately,
of
and you're
bed?
being like, I just today sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I
Happens.
just feel that. At what point does it become a thing that I need to like be concerned about, or if it just makes sense that I'm feeling this way given the things that have gone on in my life?
See, there's a lot of gray areas when
That's
it
a good
comes
question.
to like counseling psychology. Just because like, well, you can like, if you want, you can go towards the DSM.
What's that?
It's the Diagnostical
Yeah.
and Statistical Manual for
Yeah.
mental illness.
Yeah.
So if you go by that, it's just like, okay, if you've been experiencing like extreme discomfort for a prolonged period of time, they usually give you the time length. Then that at that point, if you like check off all the boxes, it's considered a mental illness. But there's also, you also have to consider grief, you know, like if you go through a breakup, if you lose a loved one, like everybody has a different grieving process.
For sure.
It's just like, I think it comes down to how significantly it affects you
impacts
in
your life.
Yeah. In your daily life. Like if you can't function in your daily life and you can't be healthy as a human being anymore, at that point you need some supplementation, whether it's like a psychological thing or
I think that makes sense because like for me, it hasn't really had a direct effect on my daily life. Like sometimes I don't feel like going to work, but like in terms of like actually impacting my daily life, like my motivation or like just you know, I'm actually healthier right now than I've been in the past year. You know what I mean? So like I've been going to the gym more. I've been getting better sleeps. I've been doing all these things better. But I still do have these like moments in the day where it's just like, fuck, man. I'm in a transition phase right now too, which is also like another thing. I think there's like a degree of uncertainty.
No, that's that's a difficult phase, man.
That like makes you just feel like unsure about your own personal happiness. And
if you look at it at like a spiritual level, some kind of like a little hippy dippy.
No, so are we.
Take it easy.
So are we.
You lost a piece of your soul, you know, like you literally like when you're grieving, like you like with the people that like really truly impact your life, like you combine something really spiritual and deep within you. And when you break off something, like whether like someone passes away or there's a breakup or anything like that, like you literally lose a huge chunk of you, and that takes a long time to heal. And like there's this void within you, like no matter how well you're doing, somehow it's like a scar. It's like a scar on your soul that like it'll always be there. It's just like over time it gets easier to
what's weird about that though is that like I feel like I'm sort of like hyper aware that like, this relationship that I had with my ex, it was a period of time in my life. I learned a lot from it. She learned a lot from it. We're both like happy now. Like it was literally the best case scenario for a breakup. And I don't even think that is what is like really deeply like making me have these like weird moments. But like I'm just trying to think. It could
also just be like muscle memory, honestly. Like it's just like sometimes like for me, I have those moments where it's just like I literally like wake up and like I think like he's still there and he's not, you know, and it's just like, and then it just hits you and you're like shit, you know, it's like
hurts.
It hits you like a knife, and so I think it's just like
for me it's like I haven't felt like a deep sadness in such a long time that I'm almost like reveling in this like deep sadness, this ability to feel this like type of emotion that I haven't really felt it feels like fucking forever. And it, on one hand, it's like sucks to sort of be sad sometimes, but on the other hand, it's like, well, it's kind of cool that I can still feel so like deeply about anything.
Just
like
think about what your grandma said, you know, like those moments that you are able to feel that like intense emotion, like that's part of just being like completely human.
That's what it's all about,
you know. And it's just like we have like as humans, we have the capacity to be able to experience something like that, and that's only going to help you grow, you know. And so it's just like I understand that completely, because in some moments when I'm feeling like really, really down, it's just like you just want to dwell in it a little bit, but then it's just like, damn, like how is this going to help me one day, you know? Like this is me growing. Like the ability to feel this is so incredible, actually.
It's so drastically important to like self-growth. Like there's a line in a song by I forget the band, but they say like the the rain is what makes everything grow.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's so true. Like the deepest, darkest times of your life are really the times that make you who you are and kind of help you understand the real world and not necessarily like the world on the surface. It like makes you really see the world for how it is, flawed, difficult.
Yeah.
And I think that it really like,
it takes you out of that bubble that we're all conditioned to live in.
And especially with the internet and social media, where it's like, if you're not living on our bubble, like you're fucking weird. You know what I mean? Like,
weird.
Of course. And I think that it's really cool that in times of shittiness or like you said, it might be a difficult time for you right now, that you know that you got support, whether it's us or people that are willing to talk or the dogs.
Yeah, puppies. I bet your pets help you a lot.
Oh my goodness, they're the sweetest angels.
Yeah, they help me a lot too. Like even just cuddling, like whenever I'm like feeling sad or something,
really
just fucking spoon them.
I
And it's
know.
like, for some reason, this is so nice
It's
right
so
now.
sad
Like,
because like I start to realize how pathetic my life really is when I'm
I don't
just like,
think so,
when she
though.
gives me like kisses, I'm like, I haven't had human contact
Yeah.
in so long, and it's just like, this is so sweet.
I know. I always
They
think
are
about
amazing.
that
They're
because
such a blessing.
I always think about that because there are people in the world who literally don't have human contact. Like,
I can imagine.
I know, right?
I mean,
but it exists. Like they're like lonely, real, alone people out there.
Yeah.
I think loneliness is something that's like really important to experience.
Yeah, of
but
course.
it becomes an issue to a certain extent. You know, like when you become so content in your loneliness, then you have to like take a step back and be like, maybe this isn't healthy.
Yeah.
Can we
you
stop
know?
talking about me? That'd be great.
That's honestly been me like the past little bit. I'm just like, damn, I was complaining to my mom the one day,
honestly.
and then she's like, you just sound lonely. And I was like, fuck, I'm really lonely,
Yeah,
mom.
man.
It's
Like,
it's funny
Story of my
because
life.
like I love being alone, but I don't think I've ever really felt lonely. Even when I've been
That's
alone
huge.
for months. Like when I was in Chile, when I first moved to Chile, was probably the loneliest I've ever felt. Because I had just moved to a new place. I didn't speak the language. I knew zero people. And I was living there. So I had to learn. It was like I was a baby in a city and I had to like learn everything. So like I had moments where I felt really alone, but I still don't think I felt lonely ever.
Yeah, it's a different kind of alone, hey?
What is
It's
your
like
toe doing?
My toe?
Your toes were like this.
Oh yeah, I know. It's a weird.
It just
My
really threw
toes.
me off. I looked down and oh.
No, it's a weird thing.
No,
I've
it's
always
a-
done is cross my toes
It's
like
a different
that.
kind of alone, though. It's like, I know what you mean. It's.
I'm like I'm
Yeah,
I take
comfortable in your own company.
Yeah.
Same. Which is why
Yeah.
I don't really
like trip out
which
when
is
you're
why
alone.
I never get bummed that I can spend a Sunday alone. I'm never like,
The
oh my
only-
god, it'd be so good to cuddle.
Mhm.
I'm
The
never
issue
like
with
that.
me is like that's me. I'm so comfy. I'm so content.
Yeah.
But then it's just like
Too comfy.
I'm too comfy. Yeah, because it's just like any guy that like tries that like talks to me or anything, like for a minute I'll be like
Shut 'em
giddy and
off.
I'll just be like, ooh,
Yeah.
this is fun, and then like all of a sudden it's like, bye. Like
Yeah.
no, like you're getting into my space, you're getting into
Yeah,
my
yeah, for
routine.
sure.
I don't have room for that. And then like you just get so comfortable with that. So then
it's
it's,
like
just
my
like
grandma.
this probably isn't the best thing for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I really
But-
think that
Fine.
like I really think that happiness doesn't come from anybody else but yourself.
True.
Like we tend to feel like being in love is what would make us happy, or
It's just
having these
a
meaningful
quick fix,
relationships.
man.
But at the end of the day,
Yeah.
It's
at
like
the
a
end of the
fucking
day,
drug.
it's your own self
course.
that is gonna make you happy.
Love is a quick fix, man. It's you
that- it
you feel
literally-
good. It's like heroin, if you
Well,
pump it in your veins and it's good for a bit, but it ain't making you happy in the end. It's
If you like think about it at like a chemical level, it's just like you're almost addicted to the oxytocin release. Like
100%.
there's a literal physical release within
Oh,
your brain.
It's the
100%.
best drug on
is.
planet
It
Earth.
is. It's
Yeah.
intense.
Oxytocin.
It's amazing.
Like, it's so incredible.
it's
and
amazing
it's like,
to feel.
It is, and you become addicted to it, and it's just like I think also when you do become so comfortable being alone, you're so scared for that happening again, because
Yeah.
it is so easy.
Oh, man.
to happen.
And when it happens, it's fucking a whirlwind of like, oh my god, like
Yeah. Like I haven't.
what do I do?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't. Been
How do
there
I
in a while.
adjust to this?
I know, and like yeah,
We'll all get there. We'll be
get
there.
guys.
Hey, thanks a lot, Paige, for
Yeah,
coming
Paige, honestly,
in.
like
Super pumped. That was
I
awesome.
I literally
It's
just
amazing.
met you about 5 minutes before we turned this podcast on.
Yeah.
And like the things that you talked about and shared with us today, I feel like
Amazing.
moved me in such like a real way that I could only imagine how it would feel for somebody who's feeling similar things that you've been through and similar things that, you know, similar
Yeah, people gotta know
emotions,
this
feelings. And for me, this was amazing. And like, thank you
awesome.
so much for coming on here and
Thanks,
being
Paige.
vulnerable and sharing things I know you didn't want to share. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, we appreciate
This
No,
is.
thank you for having me.
Thank
yeah,
you
we
so
love
much.
being real.
This
so.
was like therapy for me.
It
Good.
is.
You know,
It
it's-
is. Honestly,
it
that's
feels
why
very
we do it.
therapeutic. Yeah.
That's
Every
honestly why we do it.
time we have a conversation with somebody, it's therapeutic. And like, whenever you talk about things that you're going through that's difficult that you don't get to talk about all the time because like it's not.
We're lonely.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah. Life's hard.
It's
And
not
we-
every day you get to just open
Yeah.
up about mental health issues, and it
Yeah.
should be. It should be.
It
And-
should be, but it's not like
It's
that.
not.
And
Yeah.
we've
Yet.
we've
Yet.
had like many guests
I see.
who have been on that say that exact same thing after. They're like, man, that was just like
It's a relief.
Mhm.
it's a relief. Like you get to talk about shit.
It feels
and, you
that
know,
way for us
like,
too.
And I'm not like,
Yeah, he farted, or did you
No.
fart?
no, I didn't. No.
Smells like a human
Oh
fart.
my god,
I mean,
that's
uh,
bad.
But like it's
Maybe I,
classical one.
maybe I farted. I don't know. I don't think so.
No, you're good.
don't
But
know,
it's
but
like
that's
that's like a
That's
beautiful
stinky.
thing.
Stinky
Um, and we've had a couple of guests that say that it's like and I'm not like we're not tooting our horn, but the thing is that we just love to have a conversation with hey, first off, this must be the longest time you've went without your cell.
Like my phone?
Yeah.
Oh no.
What?
I turn it off all the time.
Oh, good for you, not me.
Not teed.
Not me, man. I'm having
No,
addiction
I-
issues right now.
I find it's a bit of a struggle sometimes, but I like to
Yeah.
get away from
Good for
that.
you.
Yeah.
But
Good
like,
for you.
yeah.
It ain't like that
Yeah.
with normal people.
No, but I really think that these types of conversations, while they benefit us, I think that they really help a lot of people too. And
course.
in
Yeah.
understanding their
Of course.
emotions, especially young kids
Totally.
who, you know, like are scared to tell their parents about like
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
how they're really feeling.
Holy
And lots of parents don't get it. Like that's just
Yeah.
the way it is. They grew
Well,
up in
if
a
you-
different time. They just
Yeah.
don't get it. So a lot of kids feel like they don't have anywhere to turn, and at least when you share your own story that's nobody else's but your own, they can feel like they're not alone, and that like the feelings that they've been feeling
And it
aren't.
might even like educate that mom to be the person
100%.
that a
Well, the
kid
thing, too,
can
is,
turn
like,
to.
if your kid is saying like, hey, like I'm having like suicidal thoughts, every parent's just like, holy shit, let's get you to the hospital, you know?
Yeah.
It's just like how about you just like let your kids be open, and if they're
Mhm.
having thoughts like that, just be like, okay,
Talk.
like tell me about it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like just
Instead
like
of,
allow them
like-
to be like really
Yeah,
open
Have
about
an open
it, because there's
dialogue.
Like, yeah,
Instead of like, boom, let's get you to the mental health
Mhm.
clinic.
Yeah, something's wrong
Exactly.
with you.
yeah, it's
Because
just
you're
like,
feeling like this.
No, like let people just be open and like and just talk to them without judgment, you know, and just be like, all right, like, do you think this is something like you should like seek help for? And
Yeah.
then they'll just be like, well, I don't know, like it's just something that's been going on in my head, and you're
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like, okay, just like you got to keep the dialogue going, right?
100%. For sure.
You know, and so many people are just like, as soon as you mention any sort of like suicidal ideation, they're just like, it's panic, you know.
Yeah.
It's
Of
just like, realistically, all of us have thought about it at some point in our lives.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, 100%.
Everyone.
All of us, even if you don't have a mental illness or anything like that,
Oh, for sure.
every single one of us has thought about death.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
Right? It's something that like us as a society fears. Like think about like why religion was created. It's literally created to give you a peace of mind
Yeah.
Mhm.
about what's in the
Some,
afterlife.
yeah,
Exactly.
something that
That's
happens
literally
after
it.
death. Yeah.
Like it's something like everyone has always thought about since the beginning of humans. And
well,
so,
death is a
yeah.
part of life.
It is. And so, like, it just needs to be a more open dialogue so that people don't have to actually resort to that as an option. They can be open, you know.
And thank
For
you so
sure.
much.
Yeah.
So stoked
Yeah,
that
you're
you
the
came.
best.
This is awesome.
Thank
this is
you.
an amazing convo. This is
How do you
amazing
feel? You feel
convo.
good?
Yeah.
You feel good?
Yes.
Nice.
Man, how great
Still
was that
super
convo? Doesn't it
sweaty.
feel nice
Happy St. Patty's.
to just
Happy
get
St.
it out?
Patty's.
Doesn't it feel nice? Happy
Yeah.
St. Patty's.
Or sad St. Patty's, whichever. But
No, it's
Sad
good.
St. Patty's.
all right, thank you.
Miserably
Thank you.
happy St. Patty's. Do you
Isn't
want
it
to
catchy?
do you
It
want to
is happy.
promote anything while you?
Yeah, wait.
No, you're
Where
good.
can they follow you when you're happy?
Or miserably happy?
I'll get back on the train with Miserably Happy. The Instagram's Miserably Happy Us. I don't know. I kind of just thought it was catchy because everyone's like, "Oh, you're always so happy,"
It is
and I'm
catchy.
like, "I'm fucking miserable."
Miserable. No, it's great.
And so I thought it was kind of like funny, you know. It's just like it's a great
perfect.
oxymoron. Like
Of course.
it's me. I'm happy, but like I like deal with like a lifelong depression.
For sure.
Yeah,
you know,
no,
so
that's
it's-
cool. That's cool.
that's
Miserably happy us.
Yeah.
Cool.
Or just me personally.
I love it.
But I'm not as honest on that.
Who is?
Well, thank you
All
so
right, well,
much.
thanks
Happy
so much,
St.
Paige.
Patty's
This is
Day,
awesome.
everybody.
Thanks.
Make sure you follow us
Kill
on the
it.
Elevators podcast as well.
Yeah.
I love to stay and chat about the beers around.